Hello, everyone. It's July the 18th, Thursday. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm sure a bunch of you tuned in on Tuesday night at the Republican National Convention. I had the opportunity to speak. I hope you thought it came off well and everything. I can tell you that, for the folks out there, they were tremendous to me. It was a really great time. I had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with Kathy and I, with the West Virginia delegation. A lot of great folks there, and they seem to be having a good time. And I think the whole convention is moving along in a really good manner and everything. I wanted to craft my speech differently. You hear all the typical political speeches and everything, but I really wanted to talk about what I thought was the bottom line to the whole everything that's going on in this country. And that is just this. And that's, I really believed, and I said it in the speech, but I think we've become completely unhinged as a nation if Donald Trump doesn't win. We saw a man with unbelievable courage, that had just gotten a part of his ear blown off and everything, and could have absolutely been much, much, much worse. We all know that. But what did he do? I mean, he stood, and to make sure that the crowd knew that he was okay, and absolutely to let the world know that he was okay. He stood and threw his hand up just like this, and that's what I did at the very end as tribute to him. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to tell the world a side of Donald Trump that I know as his good friend, and I know lots about the family, and I've been with the family on many occasions, and absolutely with all in me. That's why I wanted to basically tell about a man that I know how much he really cares and how much he cares about all of us. It's genuine. We all know all the things about Donald Trump, that he's a tough guy and he's super smart, he's a businessman, on and on and on. But we don't know about what he's taught his kids. What he's taught his kids about standing up for the military and our first responders, and standing up for working men and women all across this land, and being respectful and loving those people. We don't know about the values that he taught his children about working hard and everything. We don't know about, the values of how that work transcended into, I'm on top of that mountain in no man's land. I mean, a long, long, long ways from the closest, house in any way. And I blew the tire out on a 4x4 that I had. And when I did, the first guy, because I was with Eric Trump, Eric in no time at all was underneath the vehicle, jerking the spare tire out, and there we changed the tire. These kids work, and they have the right values, and absolutely they were taught that by their dad. So when you put it all together, and then the other aspect is, Kathy and I just had our first grandbaby, a little boy, JC. And so with all that being said, I'm in the green room, and the president's getting ready to go out and talk. There's a MAGA hat laying there, and I picked it up and I said, Mr. President, would you sign this for our newborn grandson? His name is JC. And he said, sure, Jim. And he grabbed it and he wrote on it, JC, always work hard. And then signed it, President Donald J. Trump. Now look, let me tell you, the world needs to hear that stuff. And that's what I tried to do. I basically tried to tell the world a side about Donald Trump that a lot of people would never, ever know. And I wanted to make you proud, West Virginia, because you absolutely are the best of the best of the best. That's why I challenged everybody right off the get-go, I said how great you were and to come and see us and see for yourself. And so with all that being said, I think the convention's going great. You know, I don't know really as far as making any predictions on what's going to happen in regard to President Biden, but I really felt like that it was time for somebody to talk not about themselves, not about issues that we've got as far as the border or inflation or what everybody seemed to talk about, you know, but really, and not talk about our opponents, not talk about President Biden, but really talk about what is the most important thing of all. You see, that convention doesn't matter at all if we don't elect Donald Trump. And all the different things that are going on all across this land, they don't matter at all if we don't elect Donald Trump. Do you really not believe that if we don't elect Donald Trump and we elect Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, what's going to happen to our nation? And so with all that being said, we want to be respectful and everything, but we got to win. We got to win right now. And so that's part of the reason that I closed with Baby Dog's prediction, because I knew the crowd would love that. And really and truly, the last thing I said, and I have said this all across our state, all across our land for a long time. There's a reason why, to be perfectly honest, there's a reason why I take all the crap on bad days. You know, a lot of times it's not very fair, but you just take it and you move forward. And why do you do what you do when you decide to serve? Why is Donald Trump absolutely fighting for us every day, is what I said. And why does he have to go through all this senseless persecution all the time? And then I turned and said, why does he do it? And I said, I know exactly why. Because we're worth it. Absolutely, at the end of the day, that's exactly how I feel. The reason good people do something is because this nation, all the Toby and Ediths, all of us are worth it. So with all that being said, you know, we got to win. We've got to elect Donald Trump. Now's our time. Let me show you some good news here on the Tax Foundation map. You know, but last week the Tax Foundation released a map on state population changes in 2023, revealing that West Virginia ranked 19th for inbound migration, people coming into our state. And that's really not all that bad. We'd like it to be better. But what does it all surround? Just look at those states for the most part. The driver. You see, I spoke the other night about what was the bottom line. The bottom line is Donald Trump's got to win. Now I'm speaking to you about the Tax Foundation map. What's the bottom line? The states you see that are growing the most, the states that are in the blue, all over the place, for the most part, don't have a state income tax, or they're on their way to significantly getting rid of their state income tax. Absolutely, you know, that's the bottom line. There's no driver on the planet that's going to be better than that. That's why I'm asking the legislature now, we triggered another 4%. So your income tax are going to reduce another 4%. But I said, that's not enough. And with these surpluses that we have, the magnitude of them, if we can't find $120 million, there's something really, really, really wrong with us. That's all there is to it. And it's the people's money. That's why I'm asking for another 5%, you know, from the legislature. And I hope that you'll ring their numbers and absolutely urge them to pass that dollar and those monies on to you when we call them back into session. So nevertheless, it's plain as the nose on my face. right there it is. And all you got to do is just go right through the list and everything, and all of a sudden you'll see Texas and Florida and Tennessee and North Carolina really working it. And then if you'll go back the other way, you'll see Wyoming, and you'll see South Dakota, and you'll see other states that are absolutely working it. The states that are absolutely losing population like crazy, what are those states? Those are the states that are taxing the people the worst. Illinois, California, New York, all of them are losing population like crazy. Well, we want to gain, don't we? We know what the answer is. Come on. We know exactly what the answer is. Let's get on with what we should be doing. Okay, we got a great big economic announcement on Monday. I hope you will absolutely stay tuned to everything that's going on there. And, from economic development, you'll see, I'll chair the meeting on Monday, and then we'll go on from there to another spot. But big day on Monday. Stay tuned, and more good news coming to West Virginia. I'm excited to announce, that we have recommended $18.6 million in Appalachian Regional Commission grants for 11 projects. That's all good stuff and everything. Those projects are going on all across our state and everything for local infrastructure and lots of different stuff. They'll make life better. They'll make our work life better. They'll make raising a family better. Lots and lots of good stuff right there. Here's a really good one. This is really good. Now, we got tons more to do. We all know that. And we have tragedies happen from time to time, and we need to try to prevent in every single way. But from a foster care standpoint, I'm happy to announce that the number of children in this state that are in state custody right now is at the lowest that it's been in the last 7 years. We've worked it. We worked it really hard. Can we do a whole lot more? Of course we can. Do we need to do a whole lot more? Of course we do. But this is the first time since March of 2017 that we have dropped below 6,000 kids that are in state custody right now. So with all that being said, good stuff. Let's keep working it. Let's just make it better and better. Plum Orchard Lake. Now, many of you would think, well, good gracious, how does Justice know where Plum Orchard Lake is? Well, let me tell you, Jim Justice took his little fly rod with popping bugs and went to Plum Orchard Lake many, many, many times and would catch a bundle of bluegills and then fillet them, because there's nothing better as far as I'm concerned than a fish to eat than bluegills. And so, I'm excited to announce that we've added 2 new floating docks and completed shore maintenance upgrades at Plum Orchard and everything. So go to Plum Orchard, enjoy. It is an absolute wonderful, wonderful lake to fish and everything, and lots of good stuff going on right there. And you can see all across the land what we've done with our state forest and our parks and everything. And the number of folks that are coming. All we got to do is just advertise ourselves. I mean, that's what this is all about. The more people that come to West Virginia, not only are they spending their dollars all over the place here, but really and truly, word travels all over the place, and there's more people coming that are bringing businesses, and more people coming that are going to live here. So awful good stuff. This is in regard to the DNR, the lottery, at Twin Falls State Park and everything. I want to again remind everybody that applications are open for this once-in-a-lifetime archery hunt and everything. And the Whitetail Frenzy folks are going to take, one person that is a lucky hunter. That there's many applications that are going to be granted. But in addition to that, the Whitetail Frenzy people are going to take, a lucky hunter on a hunt with them and everything. And you'll be on national television, and these guys are fabulous. So get your applications in and enjoy. And that's all I've got. Not a great big agenda today. So nevertheless, thank y'all.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now take questions from members of the media. First up today, Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon. Congratulations on you and Baby Dog appearing at the Republican National Convention. You got a lot of publicity for West Virginia, and I thought it was neat that you made a shout out and invited people to come visit us, bring all the tourists here. On a serious note, the governor, a local attorney here in the Charleston area, Harvey Payton, says he has been contacted by some people who want him to look into filing a lawsuit regarding the appearance of Baby Dog in the mural at the Capitol. They're questioning what the expenditure was on that and whether there was proper approval by the Capitol Building Commission. I'd like to get your reaction to that.
Mark, look. First of all, nobody consulted me about it in the beginning or at all, along the way. And, I'm sure not going to talk about potential litigation. Do we not have a little bit more to do in life? I mean, really and truly, from what I understand, the artist said, that he felt like a dog ought to be in the thing. And then folks said, well, look, I don't know how in the world we could have anything better than, maybe one of Baby Dog's, descendants and everything. So, I mean, that's how it came into being. I mean, give me a break. I mean, for God's sakes a living, I think we ought to just, if all we're going to do here is just try to throw rocks at one another and everything, so be it. But I'm not going to comment on that. It's a waste of time.
All right, thank you, Mark. Let's now turn to John Mark Shaver with WV News.
Good afternoon, Governor. Earlier you spoke about the special session wanting to cut the personal income tax down another 5%. Do you have any idea of when that session will be called, and do you plan on including anything on that agenda aside from the tax cuts? Thank you.
I didn't hear the last part. I heard when will it be called, and I didn't get the last part. I'm sorry.
The last part was, aside from the tax cuts, is there anything else that you would like to put on that agenda?
Who was this? Was this Mark or this wasn't Mark?
Governor, this was John Mark Shaver.
Okay. All right, John Mark. Okay. Well, John Mark, listen, we're thinking about some other things to add. But and the time frame, will have to be somewhere in mid to late August, and so I guess it could be pushed back a little further than that. But at the end of the day, John Mark, just like I just said, about the Republican National Convention going on and all the different things that are going on, and they're all important. But the bottom line to one thing is exactly what I've said so many times. If we continue on the pathway for 4 more years that we're on right now, I don't know what's going to happen to this country. And so therefore, I think we've got to elect Donald Trump hands down. That's the bottom line. The bottom line to this state is there is nothing, John Martin, no matter what anybody says, there is nothing that will drive population of this state any greater than cutting the personal income tax. It's the people's money. For crying out loud. On top of that, we've got $826.6 million in surplus now. But in addition to that, John Mark, we've got 400 plus interest money in the reserve fund for the personal income tax that's sitting there on top of that, and $1 billion plus in the rainy day fund. Now, John Mark, tell me why in the world it wouldn't make great sense to step out. Now, we want the legislature to see all the numbers. I'm told by our revenue people, that this is absolutely as safe as it can possibly be. And John Mark, for God's sakes a living, son, tell me just this. From when I walked in the door, when did I not manage the store properly? When have I not done that? I mean, the CARES money through everything all along. and we're cooking now. And so absolutely, we need to reward our people more and aggressively as we possibly can. Every single time we do more, we generate more better stuff for West Virginia. That's what we need to do. So the centerfold to the whole thing in regard to the special session, if there is anything else, will be my request to do another 5%.
Okay, thank you, John Mark. Governor, back to you.
Well, first of all, thanks everybody, for being on today, and I'm just going to look real quick, but big economic development announcement on Monday, and good stuff on the grants that we're going to be able to do that, the 11 projects. Best thing to me was, hearing that we had dropped below 6,000 kids. That's 6,000 too many in my book, but dropping below that, lowest number, of kids, foster kids in state custody and everything since that time is always really good stuff. And I want to just look one more time here, but all good. Said in addition to that, the kids that have been placed with families and everything, more than half of them are placed in families of kinship, and that's really good too. So that's all I've got. Thank you so much. God bless this great state. Thank you.